Hey everyone, I went to Buckeye Comic Con recently, and by recently I mean I think in late November, but now seems like a good time to show off the books that I picked up. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for checking out the video. My name is Justin Birch. I am a professional comic book letterer, but before I was making comics, I was going to say creating. Before I was creating comics, I was collecting them. One day I'm going to get that intro right, but that day is not today. Anyway, you're not here for intros. You're here to see the books that I picked up at that show in November. And I think it's safe to say that I've fallen down a new rabbit hole. One that actually it makes me laugh, it makes me giggle. I really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to picking up more of these books. Um, before I show up the books, one quick public service announcement. Don't mind the mess behind me. As you'll see, there's more bubble wrap and more stuff going on. I'm selling more stuff because Heroes Con is in 6 months, and we got to get that budget built up so that I can get some good stuff there. But enough of that. The first book that I want to show off that I picked up there was Amazing Spider-Man number 83. I'm trying to put together a full run. One of my goals in 2023 was to get every issue from 50 to 100. I didn't do that as I shifted my focus to picking up Spider-Man keys instead. But I saw this one and I was able to bundle it with another book that you'll see in a little bit. So this was a nice little pickup, and have since discovered the clear backing boards, which I'm a fan of. So moving forward, I think all of my Silver Age books are going to go into bags and boards like this. So the rabbit hole that I went down, uh, I'm I'm going to start collecting, or I already have started collecting. Uh, Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge books. I don't know what it is about them. I just see the covers and they make me laugh. They fill me with a certain amount of. Uh, I feel like a kid again. I guess that's a bit of a little nostalgia trip. So the first one I'm going to show off now. It isn't from the golden age. It's definitely more modern, but I just love the way that the cover looked. And this is Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge Goes to Disneyland. It's not a Dell, it's a Gladstone, but I love that painted cover. And I'm a sucker for Uncle Scrooge. Oh, and of course the clear backing board. Okay, so I found a dealer who was selling Dell Disney books like four for $10 or something. It was something stupid cheap. So I just picked up a whole bunch. So this is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 230. Nice Donald Duck with Huey, Dewey, and Louie on there, and because of the clear backing board, I can show you the back as well. And these are cool. There's like additional comic strips on the back. We've got Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 226, again with Donald and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Show you the back as well. Look at that. We've got Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 236. And I promise you, these aren't all Disney books, so stick around to the end because there are some major keys there as well. We've got Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 227. And someone out there will probably know more than me. I think these ones are reprints of older issues, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you do know, please let me know in the comments down below. This is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 229. And I like to make the joke around here that Donald Duck is my spirit animal. We have the same disposition. And so that's why I think another reason why I'm picking these up. Next up is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 219. And I personally would love to be that cold at night when I sleep. Great ad on the back for the Schwinn bike. That's awesome. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 190, and the back is on that one as well. We have Walt Disney's Comics and Stories number 215. Okay, now here's where we start getting a little bit older, and these next ones were a little bit more pricier because they are Golden Age. Uh, they were in great shape, and they were a bundle deal. These next three were a bundle deal with a slab that I will show you later on. This first one is four color 282. I just love that painted cover. If I'm assuming it's a Carl Barks, but I would need to look that up to be sure. But yeah, it's just really the cover appeal is really great, and it doesn't. I mean, you have some creasing, but nothing I press from the comic chiropractor wouldn't fix. But yeah, this is a nice looking book, um, and you got that bonus comic strip there on the back. The next one is four color 275. That's Donald Duck in Ancient Persia. Another fantastic painted looking cover. Of course, I believe again another Carl Barks. I just assume all the covers from this time period are Carl Barks, but another one that it just looks great, no creasing or anything like that. There's a couple spine ticks, but from a book from the early to mid 50s, I don't think you can complain about that. This next one is four color 223. It's a Donald Duck lost in the Andes. And again, really bright colors on those. Just another book in excellent shape. I'm going to get these pressed and cleaned again from the comic chiropractor and get them graded because they're just in great shape. Just excellent shape for a book of this age. I mean, you have some spine issues there, and down there in the corner, but the colors again, they're just so bright. Okay, so one more Golden Age book to pick up or to show off, and this was one of the big purchases from that show that weekend. This is uh, yeah, I'll just show you. It's a four color number 386. It's the first time Uncle Scrooge appears in the title, so it's considered to be Uncle Scrooge number one, not to be confused with the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge. It's still a very sought after book. I only saw two copies at the show. This one and another one, and the other one wasn't as good looking as this one. I got this from the same dealer as the Amazing Spider-Man 83, so I was able to do a little bit of a bundle deal, um, which they were really great to work with me on the price on that. But here you can see it up close. It's just the colors are very bright. It's very it presents very well. And then the back. Okay, so two more books to go. And they're both key. They're both major keys. They're both graded books. The first one I got as part of I bundled it together with all of the Donald Duck books, the Golden Age Donald Duck books, the painted covers. And when I asked him what the best he could do on the Duck books was, he knocked 25% off immediately. And I said, okay, cool. I was not expecting that big of a discount. And then when I said, now how about if I throw in this book as well? And he didn't. He said he couldn't do 25% off on this book, but he gave me 20% instead. So that was good enough for me because it was still a bigger discount than what I was expecting. So I picked up a copy of New Mutants 87 and a 9.8, first appearance of Cable, and of course I'm trying to get mutant books, mutant first appearances in 9.8s if they're affordable, which is a relative word. So yeah, I was really happy with this pickup. I do have a signed copy. It's a 8.5 Mark Jewelers variant signed by Rob Liefeld. Um, and that one's going to stay in the collection. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to hold on to it until I can get Todd McFarlane to sign it, because I think it'd be kind of funny to have a book with Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane's signature both on it. So yeah, so I needed a 9.8 for my personal collection. The other big key from that series, obviously from this series, is New Mutants 98, the first Deadpool. I've already got that in a 9.8. So I feel like this, you can't have one without the other in 9.8s. Okay, so this is the last book I'm going to show you. It's the biggest book that I picked up, and I didn't actually pay for it. I did my first trade. I went to a dealer, World's Greatest Comics, based in Columbus, Ohio. They're actually on the Beltway. I think it's Westerville. It's a great shop. Anytime someone tells me they're going through Columbus, I tell them to stop there, because I think the back issues, there's a lot of back issues, and they're really fairly priced. So I, I this book wasn't on my list. Um, it was definitely an impulse sort of thing, because I was seeing it on a couple walls, and it just crawled in there and just said, you need to get that book. So I walked around, and this was definitely by far the highest graded copy of this book that was there at the show. I went up to the dealer, the seller, and I asked if he was interested in doing any trades. After, I said, "Can I see that book?" I looked at it and I said, "Are you interested in trades?" And he said, "Yeah, it just depends on what it was." And I think I pulled out three books. I pulled out Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.6, First Miles Morales, an Amazing Fantasy 10 in a 9.8. It's the first appearance of the Vampire by Night. And I pulled out one other modern book, and I don't even remember what it was. It may have been an Amazing Fantasy 15, the first Amadeus Cho in a 9.6. And he was very polite, and he said, no, not really. I'm not really interested in the moderns." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine. I totally get that, right? I'm trying to trade modern books, even though they're first appearances and they're 9.6s and 9.8s, for this book, which was a Silver Age first appearance. So I get it, right? No harm, no foul. But I had one other book in my bag that I decided that was the time to pull out and offer it. And so I said, "Okay, would you be interested in this one instead?" And what I pulled out was my Amazing Spider-Man #4 in a 2.0. It's the first appearance of Sandman. And he immediately got interested, right? Because now we're talking about trading a Silver Age book for a Silver Age book, and of course it's Amazing Spider-Man, and it's a sub 10 Amazing Spider-Man, so that's got some trade value. Like, those aren't hard to sell. So he said that he would be, and he looked at it, and he looked at it, and he looked at it, and he's looking it over, and he's looking, and I could tell that he was thinking about it. And towards the end of the conversation, I feel like there may have um, been a little sense of regret on his mind for making the trade, and that's unfortunate. And I apologize for that alarm that just went off that you may have heard. I get messages all the time. What can I say? Anyway, I still feel a sense of like he wasn't quite as happy with the trade after I agreed to it, which is unfortunate. I want everybody involved when doing a trade to feel like they made a good deal, that everybody did well on the trade. Um, so I even offered, like, after I could sense the hesitation, and after we had already agreed to it and this book was in my hand, I told him that it it like, if he wanted to trade back, we could. Like, the book wasn't in my bag yet. I hadn't walked away. We're we're good. We could trade back. And he said that no, he was fine with it. So I said okay, and then I went on my way. So the trade was my Amazing Spider-Man #4 in a 2.0, the first appearance of Sandman, and $100 cash for this book. This book being Detective Comics 359 and a 5.5 white pages. It's the first appearance of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. I think that this could be pressed and cleaned to get a grade bump. There's a really big non-color breaking crease right down here. Almost looks like almost reminiscent of a sub crease. So I think there's room for improvement on this. I'm really excited to have this book. I've been wanting to start picking up more DC keys lately, especially after I started picking up Teen Titan keys and Nightwing specifically. I feel like you can't have Nightwing books without having Batgirl books. So picking up the first appearance of Batgirl in a great grade, 5.5 is awesome. I really enjoy those mid grade keys. Which is the reason why was open to trading the Spider-Man because it was a 2.0, and I'm hoping to get something in the 4.5 to 5 point range to fit in with the rest of my ASM collection. So at the end of the day, I got something I wanted, and I hope the dealer got something he wanted. And the prices were comparative to what he was asking for this and what I paid for that ASM number 4. So I don't feel like I got a bad deal. I feel like it was even, and I think that's great because anytime you make a trade with a dealer at a show, you kind of have to expect to have the deal go or the trade go in favor of the dealer. So this one was even, and maybe that's why there was a little bit of hesitation on the dealer's end. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, I picked up a major DC key, the first appearance of Batgirl, and a 5.5 white pages. So I think I did pretty well. You'll have to let me know what you think, how I did on that trade, if you would have made that trade. I know it's hard to trade a Spider-Man for a DC book, but that's just what I wanted to do. So yeah, there you have it. A nice little show in a hotel ballroom, which are turning into my favorite types of shows when they're in hotel ballrooms or volunteer fire departments or VFWs. It's just a great atmosphere, right? There's just nothing but long boxes, and it's just you and 40 other people just flipping through them looking for books. It's a good show. I definitely want to put more shows like that on my schedule for 2024. So let me know in the comments down below. What book was your favorite pickup? How you think I did on that trade? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell. Give the video, if you really don't like the video, hit that dislike button twice to really let me know. Until next time, take care. Don't mind this mess and smoke bomb.